well, I look like a bald man from... Let's not get into the front part. That was about to get really offensive for no reason. And I also, like, couldn't think of anyone. And I was like, well, don't think of anybody just to, like, be offensive. Hey, Jack. So I crashed out like 700 times because tomorrow I'm posting my stream schedule, whatever, which will be the times like you can for sure expect me to be on here and then like what I'm doing. And then so I go live at 8 and then I tested out my I obviously was like trying to show my game, and so I tested it out just to make sure everything was okay. And it worked at 6, and so I had time to get ready. And if you're like, Sabrina, it doesn't look like you're ready. It's like, well, first of all, I crashed out a little bit because do you know how frustrating it is to go and verify that something's working and then it works? And then, sorry. Oh no, those girls are gonna absolutely destroy me in a battle. I know my place. I do know, you guys have taught me my place. So I stand there clear. Anyway. Love you more. That's just what I'm gonna start doing. What is up the white clay? Gas Mask Girls, how was your birthday? Hey Wally, hey Tyler. Forget I said anything. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, thank goodness they're all closed. Well, still, how was it? Gas Mask Girls, that sounds kind of crazy. Not crazy, a little scary, but like, I love it. But that was a horrible bite. Oh my god. Oh my god. Does anybody know the number to 911? Oh my god. Why was there so much salt on that? Okay. Whoa. Like when Betty Crocker said there's no such thing as too much salt, like she never met Kerrygold. Whoop. I feel the cholesterol rising. The diabetes jumping. The sodium calcite skyrocketing. The blood sugar. Reaching levels. Wait, did you guys see Katy Perry? Okay, that was a fashion. No, girl, that's so funny. Do that again, and like, you're gonna see who's your daddy. Okay. Watch this. This is actually crazy. Also, B. Simone, you're a shady ass. But you know what? You know why I believe in karma? Because your face looks the way that it does now. So enjoy that. And also, you're like literally so desperately running after a man who like doesn't want you, never will want you, never could want you, like, but you're like on the side of God. And I saw somebody say something that was so real, and it was like the line to hell. Thank you, Raina. Thank you so much. The line to hell is going to be filled with all of these women and men. Not as many men, but still there are men. Let me not like just like what's it called, generalize. Who are using religion as a cash grab. Because that shit correct. Only real ones call me 21 Cabbage. Stay. Joel Osteen is truly his own piece of work. I actually made a friend. So I'm from Texas, but then I moved to New York City. And I made an acquaintance. And she was like, I said something about how Joel Osteen like locked people out of his church because he didn't want them to ruin their furniture. And then Mattress Mac was like, come on in, and like ruined all of it. Oh, I love him. But yeah, and then that made the news, and then Joel Osteen suddenly was like, yo, come on, come back in. The Lord says to come back in if you're dressed nicely. And everybody was like, wait, what? But they were like, actually, like, they didn't say, wait, what? They were like, we are in desperate and dire need, so we're gonna go, like, and if I was them, like, I would have, like, just thrown toilet paper into the thing and just, like, really messed stuff up for them. Because it's like, how are you not gonna let people in need into your church? You're a communal space. That's technically like why you don't pay taxes. What do I mean technically? That is why like you do not pay taxes as a like religious thing. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. But yeah, so yeah. I really did want to play my game tonight. I don't know what's going on. much, Tyler. You lit it up in my. Oh, the game is being played for sure. Okay, anyway, thank you, Tyler, so much for lighting that up in my gift gallery. Thank you, baby. Like, sometimes you guys just come on here and comment stuff, and I'm like, I do wonder. I'm like, is it psychedelics or no? Thank you, son. Love you. Thank you, Tyler. Love you. Yes, I had a feeling. Okay. So. Like, can you please work so that I can understand, like, why you're not working? My most important goal right now is to play Erica because we had a blast last time we played, and I'm frustrated because it does feel like I don't understand why it's not working. I did this at 6 to avoid this happening. And it works on everything else. It's so weird. Like, it works on the Elgato capture card. It worked 2 hours ago. That's the part that's like sending me, and it's like, I get it. Like, I should have gotten a PC. It's not an option. I move in 2 months. I'm not spending $600 on this like crazy heavy, bulky, big ass PC. Like, I don't even know. Like, I can't. Like, it's like it'll be good to have. It's annoying because it's like I'll have to have this computer plus another one, like a PC. But like, it just is what it is. I don't know how it made PCs. Maybe I'm trying to do something that's like out of this world. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like I am. I'm just trying to think. Hey. But then I have a sign behind me that's like everything is figure outable, and it's like, yeah, pretty much everything. Like, I hope so. Like, is that true? We can only hope. Y'all go like and repost my last video. I thought it was kind of cute. If you like it, if it resonates with you.
how to stop a war, cause it feels wrong. Didn't know what to do, but Google had a clue. She said the answer.
The song is saving lives.
Hey, Ryan,
Please don't bomb us. And by us, I mean the U.S.
Like I did a major policy, I majored in English. So I'm sorry if this is insensitive. Little candles had a prayer, rather conflict over there, hoping everyone remains strong. And they need my help, I can provide my help, and my help is this gorgeous song. It run, please don't bomb us, and by us, I mean the U.S. Like an amazing. Hey.
I thought that was good. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait, I was on here for a totally different reason. The camera is connected with CamLink, and then the capture card is connected. Like, everything is connected perfect. I connected it literally at 6 p.m. today. Everything worked great. And, like, now the capture card, is not working for whatever reason. And then the Canon is working, but Canon is with CamLink, and then but it's weird because on CamLink it doesn't come up on CamLink. It's like it looks more like it's a Stream Deck type thing, but they both come up on the 4K utility thing. But I'm telling you, like, it worked before. Like, I don't know what is. Can I, like, turn that on? Oh my god. Wait, let's listen to that podcast that I like. Oh my gosh, wait, are we about to do like an impromptu sleep stream? Wait, I just went to Uber Eats on accident instead of Spotify. Who invited me to co-host? Star emoji invited me to co-host. Sorry, Star. I'm about to pass out into oblivion and like not think about what the hell is going on. Because actually, like, what the hell is going on? Like, intelligible nonsense. Intelligible nonsense. Oh, it's unintelligible. Calculus 1, that's my shit.
The surface of the tangent line at a rate of 100 meters. The curve y minus 5x multiplied by 2 lies above the sum of the direction of the function and is a...
I'll start it over so you guys understand what this is.
Hello, my name is Michael, and this is Bore Me to Sleep, the podcast dedicated to helping people sleep. More specifically, this podcast will lull you
Good night. Thank you, Fire Avatar. Love you.
nonsense. This episode will use vocabulary and sentence structure that vaguely implies how throughout Calculus 1. I've used machine learning to generate the script in order to provide you the same comfort as falling asleep in a lecture. Please
I have to
don't
brush
try to
my
understand the
teeth
script.
before I go to bed, though.
Many people who sharing, and following. Help these episodes reach other people that need them. I will now begin the lecture, so please enjoy and hopefully sleep tight. In example 6, we compute the transitional values of f of x minus x squared and the concentration, and use these values of x such that we find the polar curve that passes through the point. A body of the parabola y minus x squared multiplied by y squared, and the interval most increases after finding the area of the condition of the surface S such that the tangent line to the given point is divided in the figure. The inflection points in the charge with the given point of infected integral is less than the solution of the surface of the tangent line at a rate of 100 meters. The curve y minus 5x multiplied by 2 lies above the sum of the direction of the function and is either convergent or divergent. Show that the differential equation is convergent by the family of functions where the number of partial derivatives and the curve y minus x squared multiplied by y squared is a sphere with radius 4 centimeters. Use the graph of x, and t is the constant coordinate with a rectangular base that is constant. The area of the tangent line to the graph of x and the plane z minus 1 times 2y squared and t of x minus cos x squared multiplied by x squared multiplied by y squared and x minus 1. The volume of the curve y minus x squared times 2 sine x dx minus x squared times 4x squared is the equation at the origin. Planes are often used at the point where the problem of integration passes through the specification, with the total response rotated on the function of x, which is less than t of x. Several members of the solution are given curves when the line y minus x squared and the inequality is convergent. Derivatives and rectangles show second-order differential equations when finding the distance from the equation. The process of the tangent line at differentiable functions of sphere x squared times y squared minus 1. Comparing the graphs of x and t in a single series is the speed of a sphere with the mass of function f of x minus f. The distance from the exact mass m
I have to go put this in the
is a
refrigerator.
constant to a root of a
I'll
tangent
take it,
line
Grandma.
to the surface obtained by rotating the differential equation by partial derivatives of the shape of a function whose graph is the same tangent line.
Okay.
For the area of the function f minus absolute x multiplied by
Okay.
f of x multiplied by y squared,
I think you just.
the vector field on the second line of the geometry of space shows as a sphere of radius r, such as figure 4. The product of the waterline is important so that we display constants akin to the real number intersecting at a concentration, so the particle moving along the linear line matches the second derivative or the integral of y.
Get it done. Just get it done.
The particle in the string
You thought.
y minus
Reflexes
squared
a little too fast.
multiplied by 2y squared are some of the sphere of radius r. Therefore, the probability density function shown in figure 1 has the distance from the given series as convergent or divergent depending on the vector field in figure 6. The horizontal and base of the equation derives the second derivative test for computer algebra system. Find the area of the solid obtained from the curve. Giving the integral of the surface, a function of f of x is equal to negative x minus 2 dx. When x prime is seen as x double prime, the sum of the functions f of x minus dx squared and the radius of the function f is used to the graph of the function x minus y. The length of the sum of the weight and inside the hyperbola x squared minus y squared minus 1. The approximation has extreme values on the tangent line to the surface, z minus x squared multiplied by y squared. A constant tangent to consider the top of the form doubles as an integral over rectangles in figure 2. This series for constants show that sine and cosine 2. This series for constants show that sine and cosine value of the z-axis. The line integral, or computer used to determine the average velocity, are called the origin, and the sum of the solution curves include the number of integration used to the midpoint rule for estimating the curve. Y minus x cubed multiplied by 2x squared lies between the first definition of the line y minus 2x squared comparing the sum of the curve y minus x squared times 2x squared and y minus x squared times 2. A circle with c minus 1 used to estimate the value of the function f of x includes an infinite sequence in series. Therefore, the line x minus 2x squared multiplied by x squared multiplied by y squared has an interval of change where the surface of the graph of population is given by the form of the function f of x for the line y minus 1.
Okay, well that doesn't make any sense.
Plane z minus 1 times 2x squared and the slope of the solid obtained by rotating the distance function f over a common series n prime minus 2.
Not n
Lies
prime.
inside the area of the solid whose volume of the graph of the equation in example 1 and the force of all rectangle r is the length of the triangle in the first octet with a model for the solution of the equation in the figure. Illustrate this part by comparing the following temperatures constructed by a separable enclosure by the curve and the region bounded by the curves y minus 2y squared. the surface is obtained by rotating the curve yx squared. The line y minus x squared and the exponential function f of x minus f of x prime for the speed of the increase akin to the Maclaurin series for the cone. On the string that is convergent, the given point is satisfied where the integration and the rectangle say that the area on the surface is equal to the area of the parabola. The following theorem, used to estimate the origin and the same part as seen previously, has the tangent line
Pythagorean theorem.
t minus 2.
Or
The
PEMDAS.
particle lines y minus x squared multiplied by y squared and x minus 0 in a complex number has the first step constructed at the spring tails where the point P in the series is 100 minutes. Of all that the sum of the tangent line
I don't know why I couldn't game
is the
tonight,
tangent line
but
to the surface obtained by rotating the curve. Estimate the region in the
I've
second
crashed out
of the
so
surface
much lately that
intervals,
I'm like,
the voltage description of the areas
it's just not gonna crash out anymore.
y-axis. The result of this fact to find the concentration of the slope.
And then I saw this guy who's like, it's not fair, but for some reason New York always gets targeted, and it's like, yeah, we do. Even though New York is like a liberal state, and we're not voting any of these people in office. Side eye. But I don't know why we are getting, I don't know, like, New York always gets the short end of the stick. Everybody's like, New York, New York, New York, and then, like, you know, until the shizness gets real.
Provides the solid that lies between
I'm
the
gonna go
position
put
of the
this-
circular cylinder
Where is it?
and its graphs.
Gatorade. Wait, where did it go?
Find an expression for stretched x and y
Oh, dude.
and x minus 2 that lies above the vector field f, which is a positive integer of a single variable on the series O prime. Their Cartesian coordinate system is also called the graph of a function. In infinite sequences in series, the properties of functions in a circular cosine function show similar surface area as the figure 1. The remaining integrals use the radius r to find the speed of the rectangles by composing the shape of a polynomial into a solid obtained by rotating the number of calculus to find the area of the body. This area is a positive number of a parametric surface area within the equation that is a line in the product of the surface integral on the area of a differential equation and the distance from the differential equation and a common total trajectory of the solid between a computer and its graph, where we can find the surface of the solid enclosed by the parabola y minus x squared and the area of the function given by the region bounded in figure 3. Showing the sum of the area of the 2 points and then expanding on the distance from the answer, we can measure the velocity function as an increase in the area of the polar coordinates towards the surface area of 2 differential equations. These polar curves are also the area of the tangent line to the curve y minus x squared multiplied by 2x squared multiplied by y squared.
I just gotta come. Thank you, VIP. I think I'm gonna get another piece of chocolate. Don't mind if I do. Thank you, Tyler, for helping fill up my gift gallery. Thank you. Okay, we have a flash goal. For heart puffs, that's only 1 point. I think we can do that. I'm gonna get the other Dubai chocolate. Oh,
The tangent line in figure
sorry.
1 is also used to solve the following graph. Until the function is reasonable to the curve, and the following theorem 2 has the probability density function equal to the slope of the tangent line to the sphere x squared multiplied by y squared multiplied by z squared minus 1. The above function, f of x, for areas between x and the volume of the region E, can be used to find the distance from equation 9y minus 1 and y minus 2x squared.
I got the almond pastry I made earlier.
A straight line has the power of an interval, which is a distance from the graph of f of x, and is also the polynomial of said function. Sketching the graph of the solid that lies between the distance traveled by the triangle.
Thank you, Tyler, for the meerkat. Thank you for the heart puff. Thank you, Zahir, for the heart puff. Thank you.
And that pole is an inverse of function f of x.
Thank you, Fire Avatar, for the heart puff. Wait, did we achieve
The
it?
surface of the solid lies above the container with respect to y and x minus 1.
I know, I remember. That was so funny.
Using the graph of the solid that lies above the distance, the first general solution can be created using a derivative test. The graph of the curve C is a probability density function equal to the period of concentration for the components on the force acting on the same radius as the convergence.
Hey, Chris.
Use a graph to estimate the volume of the function y minus x squared multiplied by y minus x squared multiplied by negative
I
1.
couldn't do all of it.
The graph of f at the series is convergent. The area of the functions are called the sum of the surface in a second and horizontal asymptote. Those can be used to interpret the data for the surface area. In the form of
Thank you,
equations of lines.
Cosmic. We
This
need one heart puff to reach our flash goal. Can you help us
to
out,
the
Angel?
tangent vector field of f, which is positive to a point P, and set
You're
point
my
on the
fave.
slope of the tangent plane
You're my fave.
is equal to the curve and the area of the equation in the nth speed of the following functions.
Flash goal achieved. Thank you, guys. W Cosmic.
X, Y,
Thank you,
multiplied by
Kahid.
2x, Y,
Thank you, Cosmic. Thank you, Fire. Thank you, Tyler. Love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Following the parabola we decided to use when x was equal to negative squared. The function
Oh, sorry, my hand just slipped.
dx minus x squared
Yay!
multiplied by
Okay.
y squared shows finite functions shown in figure 10. The convergence of a particle is the surface integral of
Awesome. I don't really know.
Notice
Alright, I guess I can't do any more live rolls, but
for surface y minus
nothing. I'm just about to go to sleep. So I decided to do that with you guys. Because I couldn't get my game to work. So we're just gonna go to sleep. Love you. Love you, Cosmic. I'll leave a little note out here because I really am gonna go to sleep. My gallery, and you can't put emojis. They're very subtle. I think that's really good.
y squared
Alright.
multiplied by y squared, and the distance between the sphere includes double integrals, where the area of differential equation part A are also the area for the rectangle with equations equals to the solution of the tangent plane. Supposing that velocity and intervals of convergence grab the region enclosed by the tangent line, we can assume that the surface integral of the function f has the origin in functions easily graphed by a calculator or computer. Show the sum of the spheres for the sides of the total surface. The sine of the curve from the tangent line to the equation y minus dx minus cos x multiplied by sine x squared. The surface area is a spring constant. The tangent is made of finite new functions that call to the curve p, and q is equal to the equation x squared minus y squared. At a distance, the differential equations show the tangent line to the curve at the initial population is given by y minus 2x squared and is called the limit of the function. The first series representation is conditionally constant density for the area of the line. Sketching the graph, we can find the tangent line to the graph of the function corresponds to the distance from the instantaneous value of the initial points, which are given series. When a solution of the solid that lies inside the solid, closed by the curves y minus 1 multiplied by x squared multiplied by y squared, and the curve on point P, has terms of the form of the functions, which are temperatures that work in divergence. With the product of the function f of x minus cosine x squared, parametric equations and polar coordinates can be obtained. We will find solid enclosures with the equations of function y minus x squared, and the initial velocity used has differences in a sphere of radius r, the area under the graph of f, and the form. Steps in definition with the exact value of f at a point P in the family of functions which are carrying the following theorem. The inverse function of f adds 3 when the length of the tangent line is used to find the sum of the tangent. Maximum or minimum values find the power series of O prime when it is equal to n minus x squared multiplied by y squared multiplied by x minus 1. the distance from the curve in the previous exercise have parabolas y minus x and 2x squared used to find the tangent at a point whose position function excludes itself from the normal. The product of the integral is a continuous function of the curve with respect to the two tangent lines on the curve. We can also use the table of integrals to find volume vectors in series. Recall, derivatives graph the curve of C, and the tangent line to the particle moves along a limit of a function f of x. At that distance from the graph, the function y minus 1 and x are a model for the special cases of the cost of surface area. They both function and are the same indeterminate polar coordinates for a specific velocity. The curves are equal to the tangent, space, and the region bounded by the form of differential equations are used by comparison curves to see how the intersecting curve interacts. The area of the curve y minus x squared in the car attached to the triangle with a distance from the concentration of the form allow us to find the tangent line between 2 points where the car is a moving coordinate. The mass of concentration shows single integrals that form a solid which lies in between parabolas y minus x squared multiplied by 2x cubed and x minus 2x multiplied by x squared multiplied by y squared minus 4. These two parabolas also intersect the plane x squared minus y squared multiplied by z equals 1. To find the linear differential equation in a common scale, we start by increasing r cubed as a continuous function of the distance from a point P, where the value of the curve is the same as the surface
I mean my face
and
not.
region D within a parallelogram. According to two decimal places, the velocity of the series O shows the problem by the graph of the sine and the region R.
I like this.
The direction for the second is a constant which makes a light end of the curve such that the tangent line to the curve y minus x squared multiplied by y squared are the populations in convergent series. Now, what is a function of the particle on the equation y minus x squared multiplied by y squared? X minus 1 is called the graph of f, and t is equal to negative 21. The table shows that the two parabolas y minus x squared times x squared and y minus x squared multiplied by 2x squared have a distance between them equal to the graph of the function y minus x squared average ratio includes the same curve called the ellipse, y minus x squared multiplied by 1 squared, and the curve of the line y minus x squared multiplied by y squared is a constant function which has the same screen. The volume of the concentration, the area between the family of functions discussed earlier, make the differential equation replaced by the difference of the form of the surface. This makes the surface area of a function the equation that we will be using in the future. The part of the particle traveling for a function f of x minus squared has the distance from the transformation, the second partial sum of the force acting on a polar coordinate. This allows us to see the curve, which is a triangle, given by the parabola y minus x squared all divided by y squared, and the graph of the tangent line to the product of the function f of x multiplied by x squared multiplied by dx. The polar elementary equation, correct to start with a constant value. To determine the expression for the sum of the solid region D, we must use the sum of the series of prime, such that we can compare the 2 points of intersection. However, the form of infinite sequences in series allow us to approximate the integral, which is called a linear differential equation. This will allow us to include the sum of the triangles, called the line that lies in between the given points of intersection. The function y minus x squared divided by 2x squared, subtracting 2y squared, and y minus 1 multiplied by x squared multiplied by 2x squared has the limit in the first n minus 2. The second derivative of the function is equal to the curves y minus x squared, and the area to the tangent line has outer functions that become the sum of the solid by the area of the series 0, sine x and y minus x squared multiplied by 4x squared, generate a surface with speed of a constant to the power series converging in the limit as a function of the plane with partial derivatives, as complex numbers to the surface area with planes x multiplied by 2y, and the tangent line to the ground of the curve as a complex solution with area and relative growth. To graph the function of x, we must make sure the pressure is convergent. It is the radius of the function f, and the point where the tangent line to the initial velocity is a conservative vector field. Using the mean value theorem, we let f be a computer algebra system that finds the rate of change for a horizontal asymptote in the area of the surface integral as sphere x squared minus y squared multiplied by z squared minus 4 lies above the rate of change of the family of polynomials, where our terms are the speed of 4 miles. We can find the initial value problem as long as it is convergent and the speed of graph includes the component of the rod where the surface z minus x squared multiplied by 2y squared has the same tangent to the product of the surface squared.